I'm a bit under the weather today, so we're going to be making a classic Vietnamese at-home soup, Canh Củ Dền, or Vietnamese beet soup. Now this is an incredible soup that's comforting, nourishing, and packed full of nutrients and antioxidants. And honestly, there's just nothing quite like beets. That deep red color gives this soup an almost magical quality, and it's just such a soothing soup that gives you the kind of comfort that only a home-cooked meal can provide. And today, we'll break down how to make it in 4 really simple steps. So do me a favor and make sure you like, comment, share, and save this video. Alright y'all, remember to wash your hands. Now the first step is getting all of our prep work done, and we'll start by bringing up a pot of water to a boil, and then we'll parboil about 1.5 pounds of pork spare ribs for about 5 to 10 minutes. This will help reduce some of its porky odor and ensure that we have a nice and clean broth. Now while that's going, we'll get the rest of our prep work done. For our aromatics, we'll cut a yellow onion in half, then I have a 1-inch nub of ginger that I'll also cut in half, and don't worry about peeling it here. Next up, I have a couple of large carrots that I'll peel, and we'll cut these into about 1.5-inch pieces, keeping them roughly the same size, but we'll cut them into somewhat irregular shapes. Now, this is a fairly common technique in Vietnamese cooking, as it enhances the visual aesthetics and keeps things interesting, but also some of those different shapes increases the surface area of the vegetables, helping them cook a bit quicker. Now, as far as health benefits go, carrots provide a healthy dose of beta-carotenes or vitamin A, which helps supports the immune system and also promotes healthy vision. And we can't forget to pay the carrot tax. And if you like this recipe and you want to learn how to make more of your favorite Vietnamese and Asian dishes, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay up to date on all my latest posts. Now we're going to repeat this last part with our beets, but I am going to wear some gloves as I don't want its color to stain my hands. You'll also want to limit the surfaces that the beet touches and make sure you clean up immediately so that it doesn't stain your kitchen either. And then with beets, they're packed full of antioxidants and fiber, which is anti-inflammatory and helps with detoxing. The beets paired with carrots makes for a nourishing soup that's both delicious and nutritious. Now once we have all of our carrots and beets cut up, I'll finally chop up some green onions and cilantro. Both of these are going to be used as a garnish later. And then the last part of our prep is draining our pork spare ribs, rinsing with cold tap water, and scrubbing away any little bits. Then we'll cut the spare ribs in between the bones, and then it's time for step 2, which is to put everything together. This is about 3 quarts of water on high heat, and to that we'll add back our pork spare ribs. half of the yellow onion, our ginger, and we'll bring this up to a rolling boil, skim off the impurities. And then we'll add our beets and carrots to the pot. Then we'll lower the heat and let this simmer covered with a slight crack for about 30 to 40 minutes, or until the beets and carrots are fork tender. Then the third step is seasoning our soup and making any final touches. We'll remove the onion and ginger from the pot before it has a chance to dissolve into our soup to help keep it clean. And then we'll season our Canh Củ Dền with a tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, half a tablespoon of MSG, salt and pepper. With any of my recipes though, I always recommend seasoning to taste and making any adjustments to fit your own preferences. Now just take a look at the color of the soup though, because there's honestly nothing quite like the color of beets that's naturally occurring. And then for the fourth and final step is serving and enjoying the soup. Now I'm gonna be serving our soup over some white rice, but it can be served separately. So we'll get a generous amount of our pork spare ribs, beets, and carrots into the bowl. We'll garnish our bowl with some green onions, cilantro, and black pepper. Now, at-home soups like this are typically served as a part of a whole family meal or Com Gia Dinh, paired with some kind of braised dish and pickled or fresh veggies. But this soup is hearty enough to be enjoyed on its own. And just like that, you've made Canh Củ Dền at home. As always, the recipe and measurements are on my blog at feedthepudge.com. And if you've made it this far, let me know in the comments section, what's your go-to meal when you're feeling under the weather? Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. The carrots and beef are tender. The carrots and beets are tender. The beets and carrots add such a nice, earthy sweetness to the dish. It's so comforting, and it really reminds me of my mom's kitchen. Perfect for the colder months, but great all year round.